Hello, world. Welcome. So, what if I told you? What if I told you that your only job is to be yourself, like your true, authentic self? This is a cheat code that has helped me a lot. This realization that I just have to be myself and everything will fall into place. I mean, obviously there are like some other things that you should do. Okay, it's kind of it's a bit of a lie that it's the only job, but I would say it's one of the biggest jobs is to just be yourself. But I'm talking about yourself, like the you when nobody's around, when you're just alone in your room or wherever you spend time alone, where you feel safe and you feel like you don't have to prove yourself to anyone, you don't have to perform to anyone or anything, you don't have to, yeah, like you don't have to fit anybody's expectation, basically, like where you can just be, or you can just be, you can be free, your true self. That is your only job, to be like that all the time. And I know it can feel hard sometimes, for sure, especially because our society, there's this illusion of competition and of scarcity, and it's really unfortunate, honestly, because it just creates a feeling of separation between us when really, like, we are all one. The universal law of oneness, or sometimes it's also called the law of divine oneness, it basically says that everything in the universe is interconnected. So basically that means that there is no separation between you and me. There is no separation between me and this plant that I see right here. Like, we are all a collective consciousness, and which is God consciousness or source consciousness or universe, like universal consciousness, collective consciousness, whatever you want to call it, basically. But essentially, if you think about it like that, going back to your only job is to be yourself, your existence is literally God consciousness manifested into a physical body, a physical vessel that you have your own unique expressions of God's consciousness, because you have your own unique personality, you have your own unique talents and gifts that you're meant to share with the world, or just meant to share with your world, like those that surround you. But yeah, the reason why this has been one of the most meaningful realizations for me, and this is why I want to share it with you too, because once I realized, wow, like all I have to do is just be my authentic self, and just by doing so, I'm an inspiration to other people and to myself and to God. Because, like, I think it also depends what kind of relationship you have with the divine, with source. Like, and this is coming from, I stopped believing in God since I was like 12, and only until like, right now I'm 27, and then only till like 2020, so like 5 years ago, I started believing again. And y'all, that's a story for another time. But anyways, I guess, so just for like the example that I'm trying to make, I'm gonna just let you know my framework of how I view God or source, the universe, is I feel, I know that source is a benevolent force in my life, who loves me and cares for me and always wants the best for me and loves to bless me and bring me gifts and abundance in all the ways. And yeah, so basically, I know that Source loves me. I know that God loves me. And this is also so liberating. But it ties into the part of just being yourself, because if you believe that God loves you unconditionally, because that's what God really is just love. It's source energy, like fundamentally is love. And so when you realize, like, damn, God loves me and like just wants me to be free and happy and be myself, like, what? Like, period. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's like you get rewarded for doing that, like, just for being yourself. Because I'm saying, you're just basically, you are God consciousness. So you just expressing your authentic self, that's literally what God lives for. Like, that's why God has manifested in you, like in your physical body. So yeah, I mean, for me to get to this point though, I did have to learn to let go of fear of judgment. I think that is kind of the biggest thing. Like, wanting social approval is a thing, you know? And, but then at the same time, it's like, if you are God consciousness, if you are God, like, why would I care what anybody else thinks about me being my true self, like my goofy self, like my creative self, that my unfiltered self? I mean, there's a certain extent. Okay, there's a certain extent, I think, but when you are your true authentic self, you make the universe proud. You make God proud. God is just like smiling at you. You know, the stars, just imagine like the stars are just all like blinking happily at you. You know, like, because that's when you're in your flow. That's when you are connected to God consciousness, because our society makes it so like we forget. We forget, and we have like all these distractions. But when you're remembering, when you're honoring who you are and what you are truly passionate about, that's when you're in the flow. That's when you're connected to God consciousness. And I would say something that can help maybe to visualize this is like, think back to when you were a kid, and maybe think back to like some time that you were playing or doing something that you were just like so passionate about, and you're just like, like, you know how kids, you see them at the playground, they're like running around, they get so into it, like that, like, they're just being themselves, and like life is just so great, you know, like thinking back to when you're playing. But yeah, like, I guess that can be an analogy for how it feels to be connected to divine consciousness, because you're just like in the flow. You're like or another example would be, if you've seen the movie Soul, by Disney or Pixar, I don't remember. But that scene where the guy is like playing the piano, and then he's like, he's floating off into space, and then like later on, he realizes, like, once he's in the soul world, or like in the universe, he's like, oh, I've been here before, when I'm like really in the flow of like the music. And so yeah, like that. Honestly, that movie is really good example too of when you're really pursuing what lights you up, basically. That is like you make the universe, you make God proud by following that, like by following your truest desires and existing as your truest self. So yeah, I know that fear of judgment is real, but I guess for me it helps to know that the universe, God, loves me and you unconditionally. So that is just so liberating to be like, wow, like no matter what anybody says or like anybody trying to judge or like talk shit or whatever, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because God loves me. And that's, you know, whatever anybody says or judges on me, it's not gonna change the universe's unconditional love for me. And so I might as well keep being myself. And like it's just like there's nothing to lose really by being yourself. Like honestly, just try it, because just try it. And I feel like there is something about being your authentic self in public too. There's something else about it that it like it sparks something. I'm just talking about my experience, but y'all tell me about your experiences too. Like for example, the other day, okay, for story time. For example, the other day I was at the lake with my sister, you know, chilling. I was doing my water bending per usual and singing to the lake. And yeah, basically just like showing devotion to the water. I was just feeling grateful. I was dancing, I was crying, like I was doing it all. I was doing it all. And like obviously people are looking at me like that pass by or like that are sitting there nearby or whatever. To me, like the focus is the devotion to source, right? So like that's what I'm doing there. Like that's my purpose for being there. It kind of like I'm able to drown other people out, but it took me a long time to get to that point. So I'm very grateful that I am in the place where I am now, and that I can share it now, like with the world. Like what? Wow. Thank you. But anyways, yeah, so I was out there waterbending, singing, dancing. And then tell me why, like a little later on, we went to the part where there's like a harbor. Well, first we went to the playground and I was swinging and I felt so free. I was like, yes. Like literally I just be playing. I'm like a big kid. And I was just feeling so free. I was like, wow, I'm literally flying. and then my sister was like, yo, do you want to go like closer to the water? And I'm like, yes, I was just thinking that. And we went down closer to the water, chilling, and it's like the harbor where the yachts are. And I was like, oh yeah, let me see. I always say that, like when I'm by the harbor, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go get my yacht. And then we were chilling there for a bit, and then I went to the bathroom, and there was these guys that were talking to the security guard, and they invited me on their boat. They invited me and my sister on their yacht. And I was like, period. Like this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like just by being yourself, like I was just being myself in terms of showing devotion to the lake, which is something that I already do anyways, alone. And like basically that I will do whether there's people or not, you know. Like if I'm going to the lake Like that's one of my main purposes for going. Um, so yeah, basically like I was being myself in public, and it was like magnified. The reward, I guess you could say, was magnified. But this is something else too. Like the reward isn't always a physical manifestation. Um so like at the same time, the reward for me was the feeling of showing devotion and of connecting with the water, like the singing, the dancing, like that is already the reward for me. But then it was so amazing how the source was like, we got a little something for you. And it was fun, like it was chill. It was a good time. And yeah, and then it's just like it keeps being confirmation, like once you start doing that, it's like it builds and builds, because it's like, oh, you like that? Oh, you like that? Watch this. Watch this. Watch the next thing. Look at this. Look at this gift. Look at that. Basically, blessings on blessings. And because basically it's like a realization that you are a blessing. You are a blessing just by existing. Like God is proud of you just by existing. You are God consciousness physically existing right now. Right now. Yeah. I hope this is making sense for some of y'all. You got that click, if it connected with you, give it a thumbs up. And even if it didn't, maybe at some point it will. So, hey, soon. Oh, but something else that I forgot to mention that was key is that from the story time about how the guys ended up inviting us to their yacht, is that also dude happened to be a DJ. And I was like, no ways. Universe conspires every time, because I'm like releasing my EP this month, right? My first EP. And it's like this person, the universe brought me this person. I was literally like, yo, I'm releasing my EP this month and I'm looking for somebody to make beats for me. And yeah, it's just like such proof. I mean, because even that EP is just, it came directly from source. Like I used to be in choir, but I never thought that I would be like making music, like rapping basically. Like what? It just like flowed out. I was just like speaking from my experience, and I just I heard a song, like, because I sampled all the songs, and I was just like, the words just came out, like I was just typing them, and I was like with a certain like tone or beat that I was following, it just happened. That was for literally like 5 songs. Like what? In I wrote the first song in 2 days. Yeah, like I wrote 2 songs within a week. And that's just what I'm saying. Like the universe will support you in all the endeavors where you are just expressing yourself and being your true self. Like when you are yourself, when you exist as your most authentic self and express yourself in the way that feels most right to you, whatever that means to you, the universe will conspire. I promise you, the universe will conspire in your favor by bringing you situations, people, experiences, things that support you in your life in whatever way that you desire. it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm telling y'all. So keep being you. Stay true, stay real, and that's all you need to do. Isso. I mean, I'm gonna do some other videos about like other cheat codes of what to do, but for now, Isso. Mwah. Have a great day or night.